You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5000 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5000. Enjoy.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Here's a place.
Out where the fake news is muffled.
Past the point where politicians get silent.
Where facts don't care about your feelings. Where PC is DOA. This is that place. Welcome to the last stop on the right.
As Sancho VII of Navarre told Sir Francis Drake, oh, it gets worse.
I'm sure.
When William the Refrigerator Perry broke the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
The last pod is the best pod, yo.
That dude ain't never broke no 4-minute mile.
I'm like, in what plane did that happen? And I'm like, the planes that can go that quickly, not if William Refrigerator Perry's in them.
Hell no.
Dude, that's not important.
No,
what is important
not.
is you have arrived, my friends, at the last pod on the right from laststopontheright.com, and, of course, our good friends at KLRN Radio, America's Podcast Network. .com. I am Ben Crystal.
I am Mike Abel.
And we do have an hour of podcast fabulosity in store for you today. Quite a bit going on this week. I thought it might be a slow news week.
Yeah.
I was incorrectamundo.
You thought wrong.
Well, I had this feeling that these off-season elections we're just going to be kind of a snooze.
Yes, sir.
Remind everybody here that we've got social media outlets aplenty at which you can reach us.
Yep.
Not only
Yep.
do we have laststopontheright.com, not only are we now on every major podcasting platform, because apparently none of them have any standards at all. It's like, yeah, sure, come on in.
Come on.
Yeah. It's like, really? You guys know who we are, right? You're going to let us in anyway? Okay, fine. Once we're in, it's hard to get us out. It's much like mold.
Yes.
We are a lot. The last pod on the right is a lot like a fungus in a lot of ways. But we're there. We are also, of course, on Facebook. The Last Stop on the Right Facebook group is always open.
Yep.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not there all the time, but I do come in from time to I'll come in and I'll drop something off or I'll make a comment or something like that. We're going to start to get a little more active with the talkies, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
For example, Tuesday nights when the Last Pod on the Right airs in the KLRN, America's Podcast Network.com. They, on their Spreaker app, they have an active chat room. I'm going to start showing up in there and see what's going on.
There you go.
They always tell you, don't do that. Don't get involved with people on social media like that, because it'll go bad. They'll come after you. I'm like, well, okay. So they'll be paying attention to me. Just show me the downside of that. Are you listening? Did we get the click? Then I don't care if you think I'm the devil.
Right.
Also, you can find us, of course, on Twitter at LastStopOTR. Twitter sucks, man. I mean, I do the whole Twitter thing. We do it, and it's Twitter's awful. Twitter is just...
No, you do it. I'm
I'm
still not on the Twitter.
Twitter is just a steaming pile of awful. And of course, we're always welcome your comments on any of those platforms. Yep. But we got a lot to get through today, Michael. Now we've shot the baloney here for a little bit.
Right.
Why don't you take a look and tell us what is in the dumpster this week?
All right. Well, hey, are they buying the race?
Sure, fine. Why not?
Billionaire Dems board the Democrats' 2020 clown car.
Like there's room.
I mean,
and the sad thing is there is.
There is.
It's like they jump out and another one jumps in.
I was going to say, get the hell out. I'm coming in.
It's like an army of clones. You're like, oh, good, one less. And then there's another. It's like, oh, no, we just built another one in the lab. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
All
right. Silly season elections, reading the 2019 tea leaves for 2020.
Yeah. Well, more than I thought there would be.
That's true.
We'll put it there for now. More than I thought there would be.
That's true. Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself. The meme that is shaping social media.
Out of hand.
It's going nuts.
It started and it picked up some speed. And, there was all the people out there. You get a lot of the conservative guys were trading them back and forth and making them. I personally contributed. And I know that makes me a terrible human being or whatever. I don't care. But it was all over the place with conservatives. I don't know. Well, I do have an idea what happened. We'll talk about it in a minute here, but it just exploded. Now you can't get away from them. It's like you mentioned before we recorded today. The two broads from the Real Housewives show
and the cat.
And the cat. That one doesn't even make sense to me.
No, but some of them are kind of funny.
Yeah, but I don't even. I'm like, what's with the cat?
I don't know.
Where did the cat come from?
No
Does
idea.
the cat have a speaking part on that show?
Is the cat actually on the show? Is what I want to know.
Does the cat have its SAG after card now? The cat's got union bennies, man. Look out! Don't mess with the cat. Get nothing but the finest kibble.
Hey, you know what? They're still at it. Impeachment shuffles on.
Yeah, like a psych ward patient has been overdosed on Thorazine. But, I mean, it's like it never stops, but it's just so sad. You're like, oh, look at him out there.
Yep.
Like, somebody should go get him. But fine. But fine.
Yep. And, we got the worst of the worst, the stuff that wasn't even worth cleaning the toilet for.
Oh, man. Yeah, and but I don't even know where we got notes in here today that I'm like, we're not going to get to this. Already know we're not going to get to this. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't think football is going to jump into today's show. But, I mean, the Washington Nationals guy wearing the MAGA hat to the White House.
Oh, yeah.
It's in our notes because it was a story.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Just mention it real quick. People that were jumping all over Kurt Suzuki are bad people. and screw them, and that's about all I think we could probably give to that today.
That's true.
Bottom of the dumpster. You know where all the leftover goop is when you take the trash out? That's where we are at this point.
That's it.
Some people would say that's where this show is all the time, but I'm saying no, we're mid-level. We're like with the coffee grounds.
Oh, well, hey, we've moved up, haven't we?
We're up past the banana peels and the eggshells, man. Quality. This is quality programming right here.
All right.
The last part on the right is nothing but good. This is good stuff here.
All right. Well, before all that stuff.
Oh, wait. But before.
It is time for the segment that you have all been waiting for.
True story.
All week long.
This is not a true story, but we'll go with it. Ain't nobody saying yeah to that.
Carefully crafted from the finest old-growth snark by a team of sarcastinomes. The grade 8 is here.
Old growth snark. Like we're out there with chainsaws. It's like, is this protected? We're cutting it down.
Because we're going to cut it down.
We're going to cut it down. Sarcastinomes. I got to let the sarcastinomes out once in a while, man. You should go into that room.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Sarcastinomes chained up in there.
Is that what that noise is?
Make me more funny jokes, you little bastards.
Oh, it's the grade 8, everybody.
The Ocho Magnifico es aquí.
Yes. Yes.
You have no idea what I just said.
No,
that's so awesome.
No, you said the grade 8 is here.
I did say that. Hey, good for you.
I know a little Spanish.
You had that look on your face that Americans get when they're in foreign countries and they ask a simple question and get a simple answer in the language they don't speak.
Hey,
you're like, wait, what? Oh, or they do the whole, okay, thanks very much.
Man, when I took Spanish class, I learned the words that I needed.
What was your Spanish name?
Miguel.
Miguel. No, boy, you really stretched for that one, didn't you?
That's what the little teacher told me.
You didn't get to pick
Miss Perez. No, she was
we
like,
got to pick
Miguel.
ours.
Because that's my actual name in Spanish.
It
Miguel,
is.
So. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I learned the important words.
Baño.
El baño.
Yep. Casa.
Casa. Cerveza.
Yeah, there you go.
Burrito necesito. I'm good to go.
Bisteca.
Exactly.
Huevos rancheros.
I'm going to pass on eggs and salsa, man. I don't like that,
man.
Anyway.
Give me that. But that's
right,
a story for no other day.
Well, this week, Ben, we are looking at the sorry state of the Democratic Party's current crop of presidential contenders.
Yeah.
As you know,
okay.
People are jumping into the race as quickly as people are exiting the race.
That is the damn truth. It's they just like I said, man. It's like they have an army of clones. Like,
Beto's out, Bloomfield's in.
Come on in, buddy.
I mean,
there's room. You wouldn't think there's room, but there's room.
There's room. We've decided to help out the losers.
Because we're good guys that way. Everybody says that.
We're helping the losers.
Beto and others whose names I can already not remember.
Beto's the important one there. What happens to the sorry saps who can't cut it on the politics' biggest stage? Well, we have thoughts. This week's Grade 8, the Grade 8 future jobs for Democrat contenders.
Oh, there's no way this goes well.
Well, of course not.
Beto scooped us last week, little bastard. Because we finished recording. Because we record the last pod on the right. We generally have recorded on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
We are moving that Saturday, at least this week, because now that we are now airing in front of some very good programs on America's podcast network, KLRNradio.com, now on Tuesday evenings.
Right.
But Beto scooped us because he waited until Friday afternoon, and then he jumped out.
The bastard.
Well, and I was thinking at first I was like, oh, dude, you couldn't suck more. I thought you couldn't suck more, and you found a way, you little monkey. But it turned out that it wasn't so bad, that's a whole nother aspect of that. I mean, if Beto O'Rourke... If Robert Francis O'Rourke quits the presidential race and nobody gives a damn, did he ever actually run?
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's like cutting a tree down in the forest. So it didn't matter. By the time we aired on Tuesday, it was already gone. I am convinced, by the way, that he quit on a Friday afternoon because he knew nobody would care. And if he tried to make it a story on like a Wednesday, by Friday the story would have been Beto quit and no one cared.
That's true.
So he quits on a Friday afternoon, and people can immediately start not caring, and we don't have to go through the whole 5 stages of grief.
Because all the news people are like, oh, God dang, why does he want to do that now?
Well, because nobody gave a damn. Right. I think he did that on purpose because he knew that nobody was going to care.
Yep.
Because they're like, you're just Beto. It's not like you were a real contender.
That's media.
But
you got bad news, release it on Friday.
They call it the Friday afternoon dump for a reason. But we wanted to help out.
Yes.
We wanted to help because here at the last pod on the right, when I want you to remember, when you think of caring and sensitive people, think of the last pod on the right, and then immediately seek professional medical help. But that I can't help you with. We wanted to help out because these guys are falling by the wayside. I mean, Beto's out, but he's not the only one. There's some other people whose names
I was going to say, yeah.
That's how many there are.
I mean, I don't know.
There was the dude from Colorado, Hockenbooper.
Higginbotham, or whatever it is.
I can't remember, flicking flocking.
Something like that.
And then there was Bennett, and there was that other guy, and there was that girl, I think, and yeah. So it's not good, but we wanted to help out because if we don't know who you are, then and when you quit the race, if we still haven't figured out, to say we as the American people have not figured out who the hell you are and why you keep popping up on our television screens when you quit, then that means not only was your campaign a dumpster fire, but really maybe your whole political career. I'm just saying, because if you can't on the biggest stage in the world, the U.S. presidential, you don't have to like it, kids. If you're one of these America Last types, a Democrat, fine, you don't have to like it. But the reality is the American presidential election is the Super Bowl of politics. It just is.
Yeah.
You don't got to like it. You don't got to love it. You got to live with it. That's just the way it is.
Right.
I mean, the American presidential politics outshine all the politics everywhere. Everyone in the world wants to know who the president of the United States is.
Oh, yeah.
I can guarantee you everyone in the world at the moment who knows that there is a president of the United States knows who it is.
Yes.
I bet you could go to deepest, darkest Africa and say president of the United States, and they'd be like, blip, 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 Donald Trump. Well, because they would know who that is.
Right.
But if you went and asked them who the current president of China is, I bet you're down to about 80%. And when you get out of Asia, that number goes lower. Arguably the second or third most powerful head of state in the world.
Is Deng Xiaoping still president?
No, okay. I'm not even really.
Okay. I'm just.
I'll throw something at you.
All right.
Well, and Xi has been to the United States on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
It's not unknown quantity. I'm just saying, American presidential politics is the show.
Right.
So these guys jump out, and we didn't know who they were until they quit. And they're like, wait, who quit? I didn't know they had started running, so I guess that's a bad sign. So maybe politics isn't what you're cut out for if you're, Beto.
Right.
Well, given his track record of late, I'm starting to think.
It's not. But
I mean, if you're 1-2, that doesn't mean you're a good starting pitcher. I'm just,
no.
Like, oh, yeah, you lost one, or lost two, won one, and the two you lost badly. You're pretty much the... I was going to say the Trevor Simeon of presidential politics.
Wow.
You're Brock Osweiler, dude. Stop. A little football reference for you. But we wanted to, these guys need help.
All right.
These guys need help. We want to help. I know this is a very long intro for
good.
this.
We're good guys.
But it's important for you to understand that we're doing this because we care.
Yes, we do.
We're doing this is coming from the bottom of our hearts, possibly the heart of our bottom. Either way. Here we go. The grade 8. People are like, you going to do it or are you going to keep avoiding doing it?
Let's do it.
Well, once you've heard it, you're going to know why we spent so much time setting it up. From the last pod on the right here at KLRN Radio, America's Podcast Network, the Great 8 Jobs for Failed Democrat Presidential Contenders. All right. Number 8, Amy Klobuchar.
Okay.
Junior high school gym teacher. What? Because she's murder at dodgeball.
Yes.
If they used office supplies in the majors, she'd be like a Cy Young Award contender every year. She got an arm. Unfortunately, they don't throw staplers in the big shows.
No.
Can I borrow your comb? No. Ew. Number 7, grade 8 jobs, future jobs for failed Democratic presidential contenders. Pete Buttigieg, newspaper delivery boy. Mm-hmm. Once he goes through puberty, he can get a big boy job. He's just a little guy. I'm sorry. He's got a good record. He has served he was a POG, but he served in the military. You got to give him credit for that. And he seems like a nice enough guy. I don't have any personal objection to Pete Buttigieg. I don't like his politics. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But I can't stop thinking that he looks like he should be starring in a reboot of Leave It to Beaver. He's just a little fella. Just a little guy.
Oh.
Number 6, Tulsi Gabbard. personal trainer. My personal trainer,
I was
hopefully.
like, please don't be.
I know we're not supposed to say stuff like that because it's sexist, but she keeps releasing these exercise videos. She knows she's hot, and she's letting us know. I guarantee you that's been a conversation in her campaign.
Oh, I'm sure.
Tulsi Gabbard, hey, people seem to like the exercise videos, and I'm like, I could explain why to you, but you don't want to know. But yeah, personal trainer, hopefully my personal trainer.
Is she out now?
Is she? No, she's not out.
Okay, I didn't think
neither is Buttigieg, but I mean, who cares?
Okay,
right?
okay.
None of these people
you're
are
right.
serious
Yeah, you're right. They're not going to
contenders.
win. They're going to
like,
need a job later.
I'm, looking off into the future. I'm trying to be helpful.
They just
stop questioning my motives.
Keep her around until the actual election.
Fine by me. And if for no other reason than the exercise videos.
The
also,
exercise videos?
She appears to irritate the hell out of Hillary Clinton.
I was just fixing to say that. She pisses Hillary off. So
that, to me, you can't put a price on that.
Nope. I might vote Democrat and vote for her.
Grade 8 future jobs for failed Democrat presidential contenders here on the last pot on the right. Number 5? Yep. Number 5. Bernie Sanders. Took some thought, because what jobs are available for a doddering old guy with no discernible job skills of any kind? I mean, he doesn't know how to do anything.
Right.
And then I figured it. Perfect for Bernie and perfect for us. Walmart greeter.
Oh.
He doesn't know how to do anything. Just like stand in the front of the store. The problem, of course, he'd hate it.
I was going to say, I think
he'd burn the place down.
He's too pissed off.
Now, sir, we need, can you imagine a conversation about an hour after Bernie starts his first day? It'd be like, we need to talk about the new guy. He keeps wandering away from the door to go yell at people in the garden section to get the hell off his lawn. So it's not working
Exactly.
out. The torture of Bernie working at Walmart would be enough for me. I would go to Walmart. I wouldn't even buy anything. I would go to Walmart just to watch Bernie screaming at people. Did you know?
It would be worth it.
Did you know that the bastards who run this company make hundreds of millions? Yeah.
Yeah,
I could go and buy some of this stuff now, too.
Yeah.
Number 4, I think. Yeah. 4, grade 8 jobs, future jobs for failed Democratic presidential contenders. Tom Steyer, evil movie villain. Seriously, the dude is basically Junior Soros already.
Yeah.
It would not shock me. They should talk about these billionaires. Would not shock me if it turned out he's actually been running his campaign from a secret underwater lair, like James Bond style. Genetically engineered midget clone sitting next to him, sharks with laser beams on their heads, the whole thing. Tom Steyer, evil movie villain. He could afford it. Now, yeah, that was funnier when I wrote it.
Well, hey, they can't all be
freaking sharks with laser beams on their freaking heads. Scotty's on fire. That's all I'm saying. Number 3, Elizabeth Warren.
Uh-oh.
Cigar store Indian. And that was the joke that got us kicked off KLRN right there. Liz, just stand there. The customers don't want to hear about your meerschaums for everyone plans. That was a pipe joke right there. It was an actual pipe joke. We wrote a pipe joke on the last pot on the right. And stop telling the customers they can pay in colorful beads.
Trinkets.
$25, you can have a box of Cubans. As I hack into the microphone here. I don't even know where we are here. Number 2, Kamala Harris. Hard to know how to employ someone of her particular talents. Then I remembered she's a dirty cop with a penchant for dropping the full weight of her office on even the most minor of nonviolent offenders. And her comfort with the idea of killing people who piss her off, and it came to me. The position of Janet Reno has been open for quite some time.
Yes, it has.
Kamala, where are you on the idea of setting a compound full of children on fire? I'm okay with it. All right, you're hired.
Let's go.
Either that or the guy who hits the switch on the lethal injection machine at the state pen. She would relish that.
Look what I get to do.
I have no trouble whatsoever, jokes aside, picturing Kamala Harris happily starting the death injection machine. Like,
flipping the switch on the electric chair.
Die, you little bastard. Well, and because being Willie Brown's side piece doesn't pay, so that's not an available job. Oh, that's why they did that. And then we had one more, grade 8 job, future jobs for failed Democratic presidential contenders, and Fortunately for you guys, there's only one more of these. Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
We got nothing for him. Literally not employable. We are talking about a man who is literally disintegrating physically and psychologically in front of us. He's pieces of his body are exploding on stage.
Yes, they are.
And he gets confused by common household items, like doorknobs. There's just nothing out there for him. From Joe, we say maybe also Walmart greeter, but also more likelihood, I was thinking the guy that stands on the street corner in the sandwich board, tries to get you to come sell your gold for cash. Yes. Joe could do that. Joe could do that. The sign spinner for the cash for gold place.
Get your taxes done here.
Get your taxes and your dry cleaning done here and sell your gold for cash.
That's it.
There were some honorable mentions, though. We had Marianne Williamson. I think she's still in. I'd forgotten about her.
Yeah, you're right.
I think she is still in. She could be a recruiter for a doomsday cult.
Yes.
I could totally see her, after the debate performance, I could totally be like, well, yes, Earthlings, just put on the tracksuit, drink the Kool-Aid, and wait for the comet. I have no problem seeing her do. Cory Booker, I mean, dude's still a U.S. Senator, and he's dating Rosario Dawson. So
yeah.
I don't even care. I'm like, you know what, Cory? I don't like your politics. I think you're kind of an idiot, but, man, your life has worked out pretty well so far.
Good on you, man.
Don't get greedy.
Yes.
Don't get, I need a job for after I flunk out of the presidential race. Don't get greedy.
No, you don't.
And then there, Andrew Yang, I could see, like, selling Segways or something.
Yeah, or just do it. To
Again,
me,
another guy that it's like, what?
He seems like one of those, like...
He's the comic relief, man.
He seems like the Tim Robbins sort of kind of guy, where he like going to go out and give you the inspirational speech.
But there's nothing in the back.
There's nothing there.
Well, he personally killed Beto O'Rourke's campaign.
Yeah.
Once we realized that there was somebody on that stage who could actually skateboard better than Bobby Francis, and it was Carton, because that was Beto's best thing. Was like, well, I'm kind of an idiot. I have really nothing to show for anything I've done except that I married a rich girl, and I occasionally dress up like a furry and have problems drinking and driving. It's like, okay, why are you running for why are you running for anything?
Why? Yeah.
Shouldn't you just continue running from the law? Then you look at him run, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's why. Because you're built like somebody assembled a human out of coat hangers. But, then his thing was that he was cool and hippie skateboarded. Then Yang did that video where he's just busting it out all over that. He was in some auditorium. And I'm like, wow, so Beto is now not even number one in that.
That's
useless
sad.
Teenage skills, he's now fallen to number 2. Get out, Beto, get out. All right, so that is your grade 8.
All right.
It's just awful. It's just terrible. You know what? You listen to the last pod on the right here on America's Podcast Network, KLRNradio.com. That was my Billy D right there. Billy D.
Colt 45.
Colt 45, more liquor, got that dynamite taste. You are listening to America's Podcast Network. This is KLRN Radio, brother. What? Billy D. Williams. They're bringing him back for Star Wars.
Yes, he is.
I may actually go watch this one just because they've finally done the right thing and brought Billy D. back.
He gets his Millennium Falcon back.
Although Donald Glover as young Billy D. was not terrible. I don't want to get into the whole Star Wars thing because you're a total nerd about it and we'll end up spending an hour on it.
Right. No, I liked him.
Every Star Wars movie since Empire Strikes Back has been on a serious downward slide, and the last few have... I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like, I don't even want to go see it.
I know.
Because I'm going to spend $20 or whatever and be just hugely disappointed.
I'm opposite. So.
You love it. You watch all the... This guy, my friends, if you're listening to the last pod on the right... whatever outlet, this dude right here, when the next one comes out, come back here for all of the Star Warsiness, because homeboy over here is just you're gonna nerd out like crazy.
I'm sure.
And I want to. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on something. It's like, oh yeah, everybody seems to be enjoying it. And I went and I saw that one where at the very end, Luke Skywalker is back. And by the time they got to the point that Luke Skywalker was back, I was like, I hope he kills this girl, and the whole thing ends just out of the blue. Because it's just so... I mean, we spent like an hour in some Himalayan space town or whatever with the dude with the huge glasses.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are we even doing here? I mean, come on. Now they're just like, that's just industrial light and magic just going, hey, man, you want to see some cool CGI? Just like, we're going to throw in extra shots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think half of those movies are just, it's not even part of the story.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, look what we can do with a computer.
And that I will admit, those movies are ate up with that.
Well, you know what? We can make fun of them all we want. George Lucas is currently sitting in a house that is probably costs more than most of the homes in the Savannah, Georgia area on a pile of cash.
Oh, yeah.
Got to give him credit for this. One of the great all-time deals when he first made the first Star Wars movie, instead of taking a salary, he took a cut of future profits. I mean, he's been cashing checks nonstop for 40 years now.
He is still getting a check.
I mean, it's obscene how much more money he has made than if he had just taken a salary.
He's like, make fun of Star Wars all you want.
That's fine.
Go right ahead.
Speaking of billionaires, you see how I did that right there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's from our segue department. Buying the race you mentioned earlier. Bloomberg is going to apparently considering getting in. He hasn't gotten in yet, but he's considering getting in. Great. You have Steyer that's already in. I was talking to my mother earlier this week. I talk to my mom about politics a lot because Mom will listen to me.
Right.
She almost never hangs up the phone in the middle of the conversation. Like, I'm done with you, click. But she was saying, this is nuts, man. There's more people getting in as people getting out. They're just replacing bodies. What is going on? And I said, I'll tell you what's going on, Mike. Because everybody's been talking about, what does this even mean? Is somebody trying to buy the race? Putting aside the fact that I think it's bloody marvelous that the party that keeps telling us that billionaires are a bad thing is full of billionaires who want to run the whole party.
Yes.
I'm like, ha, bloody ha.
No, not just the party, the whole country.
Yeah, but I'm like, the irony there is just fabulous. Yep. Love it. Because you've got Bernie out there now, any chance he gets. He says essentially the existence of billionaires represents a moral failing. I'm like, no. Among the many things that are wrong about you, Bernie, that too. I mean, we should stop with all these successful people because then people will stop wanting to come to America because we don't have them anymore. It's like, you come, the American dream, right? But if Bernie's like, no, we should have that, basically. Right. You shouldn't be able to reach for the stars. I'm like, I don't like most of these guys. I don't care about most of them either. There are about 600 billionaires in the United States right now. And I don't give a damn about any of them. I really don't. I mean, it's fine. Have big fun. I have no moral objection to them. The existence of wealth like that serves as a reminder that wealth like that exists. I know that statement doesn't sound like it makes sense, but if you think about it, we like that. One of the things that makes America awesome is the fact that you can, in this country, get that damn wealthy without breaking the law. You can get that wealthy in Russia, but you have to kill people.
Right.
You have to kill a lot of people. And you live in Russia, it's okay, yeah. I mean, like that guy Roman Abramovich. I mean, how many people do we think he's had shot into space or something? Because he can afford it. Talk about a secret evil billionaire. That guy. But in the United States, you can be the Waltons. You can be Warren Buffett. You can even be Tom Steyer and Mike Bloomberg. You can build something that becomes so incredibly awesome and so incredibly huge that you are literally sitting on a 9, 10, 11. I mean, Jeff Bezos is now, I think he's hit 12 figures. Mm-hmm. You can do that in this country. It's not a moral failing to have people that wealthy. It's a reminder that you can be that wealthy. I can promise you the Waltons did not. This isn't some silver spoon turning it into a platinum spoon thing. The Waltons had squat when they started.
Right,
Sam Walton was not a wealthy man when he began. Colonel Sanders.
Yep.
You can start nowhere, and you build the best mousetrap, they'll come to your door.
Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc.
I mean, the perfect.
He was kind of a bastard, but
you know what? He built this.
He didn't break, and you know what? He didn't break any laws.
Every person in the world probably knows what the Golden Arches are.
Yeah, or Phil Knight with Nike. You can't go anywhere in the universe that we know of without knowing what that swoosh is.
Yep.
The list is long. I'm trying to make the point here. One, I love the fact that a party which is ostensibly being led by people who will tell you that billionaires equal bad is also actually funded and is about to be taken over by the same exact guys. The irony is palpable. Well, you Steyer, he's in.
Yep. Bloomberg's
talking about it. If Oprah got in tomorrow, she would be number one overall. Is she a billionaire? Is Oprah bad, Bernie Sanders? But there's something else there. These guys don't live. You don't get to be a billionaire by making a lot of mistakes. Well, that's just true.
Right.
You can. It's unlikely you can go from. I mean, it's possible, but the reality is, you can't get to that level of wealth. You can get very wealthy by being a dumbass. We know that. You can't get to that level. You can't build a 10-figure fortune by screwing up repeatedly.
No.
So these guys aren't guys that make mistakes. And I can also tell you these guys are not motivated by normal things. Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg, both of whom are kind of fascisty. Have you ever noticed that both of them, when they talk about their policy ideas, involve taking things that you like and making it so you can't have them anymore?
Right.
Whether it be sodas or straws. It's always dumb crap that, like, I'm like, when the hell was Tom Steyer in a Wawa getting a 16-ounce or 32-ounce Coke? I mean, come on.
Right.
When was the last time Mike Bloomberg was at the grocery store and bought the 3-liter bottle instead of the 2? I mean, they want to keep you from, their idea of running stuff involves taking things away from you. That's standard Democrat. They always do that. But these are guys who, like I said, they don't make mistakes and get where they are. They're not going to get into the presidential race unless they honestly think they can win it.
Right.
Because it's not like they're not motivated by altruism. Then it's not, I want to make the world a better place. It's, I want to make the world mine.
Right.
Tom Steyer and Mike Bloomberg do not seek political office in order to improve the lives of those around them. They do that to improve their own lives, which is a terrible motivation, but is also probably true of nearly every politician you can think of, even the quote-unquote good ones.
Right.
But these guys operate at a different level. And you don't know anyone like this. This is something you should remember. When we talk about these billionaires, you don't know anyone like this. You haven't met anyone like this. In all likelihood, if you're listening to the last pod on the right, the reality is that you, like us, you don't cross paths with people like this. They don't live in our universe. You don't. I mean, you're not going to run into them. You can go to the grocery store in like a really nice town. I don't know. Pick out a really fabulously wealthy. We'll say Beverly Hills because it's that's where all the Hollywood douchebags with tons of money. If you go to the Whole Foods in Beverly Hills, it is possible you will run into some pretty seriously famous and wealthy people.
Right.
You're not going to run into these guys though.
No.
You might see George Clooney at the Whole Foods. You ain't going to see no Tom Steyer at the Whole Foods.
Right.
You might run into, if you go, I don't know, you go grab a couple of things at the Gristedes on Central Park West in Manhattan. Okay, you go to the New York grocery store. You might run into, I don't know,
Denzel Washington.
You could, or the people that wander as Sting lives in that neighborhood.
Right.
You could potentially see them. You ain't gonna see Mike Bloomberg in the grocery store. These people do not live where you live. They don't do the things that you do. And you're not going to cross paths with them. These guys, however, are going to get in here. The only reason they're doing it, whatever their motivation might be, the only reason they're doing it is because they think they can win. What does that tell you about the sorry state of the Democrat Party? That's the real story here. We're going to talk about the rest of these elections in a minute. But the real story is these guys don't get in because they think it's going to be a spirited contest. Mike Bloomberg does not run for president of the United States because he wants to have a good debate about the future of the country with his fellow Democrats on a national stage. He wants to bury them. He wants to load them into the Soyuz and fire them into the sun.
Right.
You got to have a killer instinct, among other things, to get to that level. These guys getting in like this is a bad. If you're a Democrat, this should worry the crap out of you. And of course, beyond them, beyond the Bloombergs and the Stayers and the whole fake man of the people nonsense, there's somebody else back there. Hillary.
Oh yeah.
And there was a poll this week. I don't know who ran it. I didn't look that carefully because I didn't really care that much. There was a poll this week that said right now, if she jumps in, she's automatically tied with Biden.
Really?
Most polls are garbage. We learned that in 2016.
I would figure she'd be above him.
I would have figured that too. But as we learned from 2016, the polls are almost routinely wrong. Mm-hmm. Because remember, they were telling us Hillary was going to win until about 8 o'clock Eastern time on election night in 2016.
Right.
We may have been wrong about that. They were wrong, obviously. But
we'll release a statement in the morning.
But they're showing the Democrats when they poll themselves, they don't have any reason to lie or whatever. They don't have any reason. And more importantly, the pollsters don't have any reason to tinker with the results or structure the poll in such a way as to aid the Democrats. They all do that.
Right.
They call it push polls, whatever. But Hillary in the background saying, Still, there's that, and this is what my mom wanted to know. She's like, is she going to get in? I said, she might, if she, like Bloomberg and Steyer, if she thinks she can win.
Yep.
Because Hillary's another one like that. The only difference being that she doesn't have that kind of, she got a lot of damn money. Despite leaving the White House supposedly broke, they have done exceptionally well for themselves.
Yeah, well.
Again, you know, wealth for them, but not for you.
Hey, hitmen are expensive now. Oh, excuse me.
I'm sure they keep them on retainer.
Yep.
Not like they're going to the rich guy classifieds and like hitman wanted.
Staff hitman.
It's like dudes like, sleeps in the basement in Chappaqua and they let him off the chain once in a while. It's like, hey, this Tulsi Gabbard chick is pissing me off. And it's like, all right, go get her. And they know it too. The ones that are still in. And it's hard to keep them straight because nobody really cares.
Right.
Which is why these guys are getting into it.
Right.
You know, why Bloomberg and Steyer and whomever else, they're getting in because they see the opening. And the Democrats that are already in know that they're in trouble. We had Klobuchar this week. And by the way, I didn't remember she was running until she had this statement. And I was like, oh, that's right. She's running for president. I forgot. Quote, we don't need anyone coming in and telling us that none of the candidates with all of the work people have done for our country are good enough, unquote. I don't buy that, and I don't think you do either, said Amy Klobuchar, Senator Amy Klobuchar, talking to some gathering of, I don't know, 5 or 6 really dedicated supporters. Well, Ames, listen, baby, love you, mean it. I say that because I don't want you to throw a stapler at my head, because that's her thing.
That is it.
Yeah, actually, you apparently do need a lot of help, because the fact that this is possible tells you everything you need to know about the Democrat Party's crop. And what did and who warned you that this was going to happen? He's got 2 thumbs and he's pointing at me. I have been saying for months that this is going to be an absolute debacle. Don't buy the polls. Don't listen to the media because they're just Democrat sock puppets anyway. If you thought they were stunned by the way 2016 worked out, if they don't come up with something big, and I mean holy crap big, I don't even know how you would quantify it beyond saying that, because I can't imagine what it would be. We're closing in on the moment where Trump's going to have to be caught with like Live Boy or Dead Girl for the Dems to have a chance. Yeah. He is going to beat these guys by the curvature of the earth next fall. I
mean, yeah, you're right.
And I'm saying this, even if Bloomberg gets in and spends $1 billion on his campaign, it's not going to matter. This is it. I mean, we talk about dumpster. We overuse dumpster fire on this program a lot. You listen to the last pod on the right, you hear us say dumpster fire. It applies to so much in life, though. It's just such an apt phrase.
It damn sure
dumpster
does.
fire, clown car. It's that bad.
Right.
That's why they're getting in. That's why Hillary's still kicking around. I hope she gets in. Oh, God, please. Please let us watch, because it'll be like an episode of the Benny Hill Show. Because she'll like start walking around and she'll fall down. And then like Bernie will walk around, he'll yell randomly into space at nobody, and then he'll fall down. And, you know, it'll be great. It's going to be that kind of clown show. But that's the kind of trouble that they're in, and they're figuring out that they're in that kind of trouble. Because if Amy Klobuchar, who is not a serious candidate, is out there saying, we don't need these guys, well, she's only doing that because she's trying to get somebody to pay attention to her.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm just saying Bloomberg and Steyer and guys like that, they don't get in unless they think they have a shot. And it goes beyond that. The whole political milieu is turned against the Democrats. They don't even realize it. They're all out there right now. They're super excited because of Kentucky.
Because of the governor's race.
Yeah, because of the governor's. Well, Bevins lost to, I don't remember what the guy's name is. This is somehow it matters. I know I should remember who he is. The guy that beat Bevins in Kentucky. So he comes in. Bevins goes out. Bevins is, and they're all, hey, look what we did. It's a blue wave in a red state. We're going to rock the city, man. This is proof. It's coming. It's going to spread nationwide. I'm like, actually, I might have some bad news for you, Democrats. If you think Kentucky and Virginia were bellwethers, well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is, hey, you guys won one. Congratulations. That hasn't happened a lot lately. The bad news is Bevins was probably the least popular in his own home state governor in the entire country. Everybody hated this guy.
Right.
This dude was polling in the 20s before what happened. Trump came in and said, all right, he's my boy.
Right.
And then once Trump did that, he barely, it was close. It was like 5,000 votes.
Yeah.
So just slapping a Trump bumper sticker on the Bevins campaign mobile took it from a jalopy to a Porsche. Right. You shouldn't, if you're a Democrat and you're listening to the last pod on the right, and you think, because you keep hearing it, that Bevins losing in Kentucky is proof of a coming blue wave. Actually, no. Well, I just say this was it was a terrible campaign. He was a terrible candidate. Everybody in his own home state hated him, and Trump came in and almost dragged this dude across the finish line. He was behind by 15, 20 points.
Right.
Trump comes in and says, "Okay, I'll endorse him," and he comes within 5,000 votes on election day. Mm-hmm. That should scare. If you're a Democrat, you shouldn't be happy about this. That should scare the crap out of you. The Trump effect is good for 15 points,
no doubt,
in 3 weeks. That is incredible. I mean, he didn't win. Okay, yeah, you won one. Congratulations, yippee! There's a Democrat governor of Kentucky. I'm very excited for you. Really, yay, party! But just the presence of the president in that race changed it from a walkover to a split decision that went all the way to the cards.
No.
I mean, we're talking about went from first round knockout to all 12 rounds, and we had to go to the judges' table to figure out who won. That, if you're a Democrat, should not be something you're excited about. And they're not talking about this because, they won't talk about this. But you have the new AG there, black Republican. They don't even know how to respond to it. The media won't cover it.
Yeah. That's
because he's not one of their black guys,
right?
But I mean, it's David Cameron, black guy, Republican, new Attorney General in Kentucky, and he murdered the crap out of his competition, and then the media murdered the story. They don't want to talk about it, and that tells me that they know that there's some problems.
Right?
Like, wait a minute, and there's more with that. They had the big thing yesterday in Atlanta, Friday afternoon in Atlanta. They had the Black Voices for Trump.
Yes, and
I don't know about you. I hear stories like that, and I'm like, does that sound a little weird? Doesn't, I mean, yeah. Being in the broadcast media, I tend not to fall for these stunts as much. But, you get to a point where you've heard it so much, you're like, okay, I'm wondering whether or not this is even legit. Oh, mama, it was legit. There were a lot of damn people there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, turns out there are quite a few black voices for Trump. And that movement is growing. They're aware of the fact. They don't want to. The politicians and the media flags, who are basically the same people anyway, we call them the Democrat media complex here on the last pod on the right. You can call them whatever the hell you want. They're all reading from the same scripts. Right. They all write each other's scripts. We all know. You can't trust the media because they're working for one party.
Right.
They didn't want to cover that story, just like they didn't want to cover the David Cameron story in Kentucky, because they're not their black guys. So you hear from the politicians, from the from the hate group guys. You can hear from Sharpton 20 times before you hear anything about David Cameron.
Right.
All right. You're going to hear from Farrakhan or Ilhan Omar 20,000 times before you ever hear a sound from anybody at the Black Voices for Trump gathering. But there are a crap ton more of Black Voices for Trump than there are Ilhan Omars, Louis Farrakhan's, and Al Sharptons. Not something they want to tell you, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
They know there's a subtle racism here. The Democrat media complex does not like to acknowledge that they do not control the thought processes of black people in the United States.
Right.
And they don't like to talk about it. They don't like to acknowledge that there are people that are black that don't stay on the plantation.
Right.
Harsh words, I know, but there's an underestimation there as well. The idea that black people in the United States cannot see the fact that for all of the rhetoric from the left, all the stories about how Trump is a racist that they hear on nightly news or whatever, black unemployment is at the lowest it has been ever.
Yep.
The last time black people were employed at this rate, they didn't have a choice.
Right.
That's a big deal, man. Black unemployment is at an all-time low. Black average income is at an all-time high.
Yep.
The average black guy is like the average white guy. We talked about this before on this program. You get up in the morning and you're not thinking about what politicians are telling you. You think about, what do I got to do today so I can pay my bills?
Right.
That's what you do. Raise your kids, pay your bills, feed the pets, make sure the lights are on, roof stays over your head. That's it. That's what the average human being does with their average day. Whether you're black, white, red, yellow, or I don't know, purple or something.
Right.
Your daily attitude, unless you are a member of the Democrat media complex, is I got to work so I get my bills paid. If it's Saturday, maybe I go play golf or do something with the kids.
Right.
People don't have time for this. If you think that black people are somehow too, I guess, I don't know, stupid or something to notice that their circumstances have dramatically improved since Trump got into office, then you're a racist. I mean, period.
Yeah.
If you think that they're not going to start swinging away from a party who has given them 50 years of empty promises in exchange for a guy who showed up just a couple of years ago and has already dramatically improved things. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Democrats have been in control of Detroit for half a century. Detroit is hell.
It is.
All right. Look where the Democrats have run the cities for a long time. Go to Detroit. Go to Stockton, California. Go to Chicago.
Baltimore.
Go to Baltimore. Go to East St. Louis. You go to cities that have been under Democrat thumbs for a long time, and they're third world countries.
Yep.
Okay? That's the Democrats. That's the Democrats make their promises, but that's what they deliver. And if you're an American now, if you're an African American now, and you're like, well, let's see, since Trump came along, my income is up, or I'm employed now fully and not just, whatever, nickel and diming my way through life. I got a job now. I have respect now. I'm making a living now. I can do stuff now. 50 years of Democrats promising me that I wouldn't have to has produced Detroit. 3 years of Donald Trump has produced improvements. They're going to know. They notice that. I mean, I know that the Democrats who listen to the last part on the right don't like to acknowledge it, and they're the real racists here because they refuse to acknowledge that African Americans are the same as all the other Americans.
Right.
It's just like, I want a better life. That's why I'm here. So there's that aspect of it as well. You had the Bevins thing in Kentucky. And in Virginia, they're like, oh, we control the whole state now. And I'm like, yeah, great. Governor Blackface is still in the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Don't think for 1 second the Democrats aren't going to see that kind of stuff next fall.
Right.
They're like, hey, the Democrats were super proud of their sweep in Virginia. And let's take a look at who they're proud of. Governor Blackface, Lieutenant Governor Rapist, and then you got the AG who's also a predator.
Right.
And don't think we're not going to see, and there's another thing, don't think we're not going to see all of this next in the coming months.
Right.
Because we're already seeing it everywhere. Jeff Epstein. Dear God in heaven, I didn't think it was going to get like that.
They were all.
You can't get away from it. If you are on social media in any capacity and have not yet seen a Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself meme, then you're not really on social media. It's unavoidable now.
I kept posting them all until I got until I got a phone call from the 702 area code. They hung up, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
Wait, where's 702?
I think isn't that like where the Clintons live now?
You got one from that area code.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to quit posting this.
Instead of saying scam likely, it said Chappaqua, New York. You're like, I better hang up. That's when you hang up, you take the battery out of the phone, and you throw the whole thing in the fireplace.
Exactly.
Got to say this, by the way, speaking of just we're throwing a programming note with the Epstein thing. Want you kids to tune in on Friday nights at 10 o'clock. Every Friday at 10 o'clock. We got Alan from KLRN's Hardcore Patriot. This guy has done more for the Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself memes than any other human being on earth, and I say I salute you, my man.
He kills them.
Alan Ray.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I see what you did there. Alan Ray and all of the programs on KLRN are vastly superior to this one. So tune into all of them. Fridays at 10 o'clock. Alan Ray and the Hardcore Patriot. This dude managed to work Ramstein into the Jeff. There is now a Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself meme involving Ramstein. Thank you very much for that. I got into it too. I was out there. I was like, I love Ramstein.
Yeah,
I do. For some reason I can do Ramstein karaoke. Du hast Du hast mich. Du hast mich. Jeff Epstein hat sich nicht umgebracht. I was like throwing out German. It just came to me naturally. That actually took on an even bigger, and I don't want to go through them all here, because it's nuts. That took on an even bigger role and because they've been trying to kill the story for months. The Democrat media complex does not want people sharing these memes. They are not happy about it. I think we all are aware that Jeff Epstein's suicide was convenient.
Yes, fabricated maybe.
Yeah, just like the shank they whacked him with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Hillary Clinton had Jeff Epstein whacked, but I am saying that Hillary Clinton had Jeff Epstein.
Oh, dude, that
allegedly.
and the best one is the one that I told you about, the poem. With the
that one's good. Do that one.
Roses are red, tacos are life. Epstein didn't kill himself; it was Bill's wife. Like, oh my God,
we have no proof. We have as much proof to substantiate the allegation that the Clintons were involved in the death of Jeff Epstein as Adam Schiff does that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians.
Yes.
We actually have more proof. We do, because we know for a fact that Hillary Clinton and Jeff Epstein were well aware of each other's existence. Whereas Adam Schiff has nothing to show for the Russian proof. He just spent 2 years talking about it. That backfired them on big time, though, because it became such a story that somebody did some digging and someone inside CBS News, someone inside ABC News, leaked video of former ABC and now former CBS reporterette Ashley Bianco talking about how she was frustrated that ABC spiked the story 3 years ago about Epstein and all his heavyweight Democrat Party friends and Pedophile Island.
Not just 3 years ago, from 3 years ago, for the last 3 years.
Yes, they have been deliberately.
She was trying to push that story.
That's
every time something came up, whether it was Prince Andrew. She's like, oh, look, we got the evidence. Here it is. We need to put this out. And they were like, nope.
But especially when it got to Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we're not going to run this story. It was quite clear that the ABC News honchos, being a part of the Democrat media complex, were trying to spike the Epstein story because it was bad for Democrats, because all these big-time Democrats, like Bill Clinton, visited Epstein's pedophile island 26 times. And they kept trying to spike the story. So anyway, someone leaked video of her complaining about that.
Right.
So then they went after, I guess she moved to CBS. She is not the one, or somebody else, whatever, moved to CBS, not the ones who leaked the video. ABC News calls CBS and says, you should fire them because they accessed the video here. And CBS complied. If they're trying to kill this story. So ABC News calls another Democrat Party sock puppet and says, can this person because they were making the Clintons basically look bad. And they did it. And they didn't even fire the right person.
Right.
Because that's not who the leaker is.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. When did whistleblowers become a bad thing?
I thought they were.
You guys were all about the whistleblowers a week ago, and at least in this case, this is a real thing. The whistleblower was actually blowing a real whistle about a real story,
right.
Unlike the Adam Schiff staffer, allegedly Adam Schiff staffer, who invented the whole nonsense that's already gone. By the way,
right.
Remember the whistleblower?
Oh yeah,
remember him? That was 2 weeks ago. Real whistleblower, memory hole city, baby. That has become a thing. That will continue to be a thing because the Democrats may be trying to kill it, but they didn't do a very effective job. And now the Republicans know there's blood in that water. Why? Because they hate that story so much that they got their media flacks to bury it.
Right.
Or try to. And it came back as a meme. It is probably the dominant meme of the second half of 2019 at this point. So don't think that if there's one thing Trump's good at, it's getting under their skin. So you're going to see that again. If Hillary gets back in the race and gets the nomination and they go up against each other and she doesn't fall and break a hip or something.
Or take sniper fire or whatever.
Or the Serbians finally catch up to her or something like that. I can guarantee you they will be on a stage and at some point Donald Trump will absolutely bring up Jeff Epstein. He'll do it even if it's not germane. Trump would do that just to piss her off.
This ain't got nothing to do with the Germans.
Because he is almighty God of trolls. All you guys out there that think you're good trolls, forget it, man. Lay alms at the altar of supremacy of Donald Trump troll, because you don't have to like him. You don't have to love him. You can hate him all you want, but you got to admit the dude is awesome at enraging the left. Half of the time he's doing it just to piss him off.
Just tweak him.
Like the thing with the Doral Resort hosting a G7.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee he never had any intention of doing that. He did that just to spend a week watching him pissed off.
Watch this.
Dude, he's the puppet master. Look what I can make him do. It's like so funny. I say it here, it comes out over there.
Look, you want to see all those guys over there get pissed off? Watch this.
And and I don't know what else to get. We wanted to spend more time on the impeachment nonsense. It's getting boring.
I'm done with it.
I said that before on this program too.
I'm done with
Americans are busy living their lives.
Yeah, I
don't have time for this. And it's like, and every week it's, we're going to get him this time. Look at this impeachment thing that we found.
Right.
And then it's 3 days later. Oh, well, it turns out that was kind of fake.
Whoops, sorry.
And people people are sick of it.
Right.
People are tired of this game, and they're sick of them. Nobody likes Adam Schiff outside his own district anyway. People are coming around to the idea that not only is he a little twerp, but he is he is a threat and an enemy of the Republic. This is a soft coup.
Right.
The Democrat Party is attempting to steal the White House out from under the duly elected president. And I'm like, well, they call that treason in a lot of places, but in this country we call that, it is a failed effort. People are tired of it.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
And then we had the former ambassador Sondland, and I'm just going to throw this out here because we're running short on time, but was it this week he came out, he was the ambassador to the EU for the Trump administration.
Right.
Comes out this week and he's like, oh yeah, you know what? So it turns out I do remember a quid pro quo. He wants to change his testimony. And I'm like, well, yeah, it was mighty convenient, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Like, you're not fooling anybody. Miraculously recovered memories are miraculously convenient.
Oh, that quid pro quo.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what. You kind of wonder what Schiff offered him in return for that miraculous. It's like, you can get a job here. I don't know. That's all happening. There was other stuff. We didn't get to it. To our listeners, I want to throw this out real quick. Bundle up, because apparently global warming's taking the next couple of weeks off.
Yep.
All of you, we love you. Come find us, whether it's through the website, laststopontheright.com. Come find us on Facebook. The Last Stop on the Right has a great Facebook group. We want to invite you to come check it out. We're on Twitter, @LastStopOTR. We welcome your input there as well. If you email us to The Hog and Stacy and Denny and Linda, we love you all, and we're so glad you're listening to my mom, of course. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I was going to say hi to the old man, but he's like, oh, God, don't drag me into this.
He hasn't listened this long.
No, he's long
gone 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes in.
I start talking, and I guarantee you the old man gives the computer, because once Mom starts it, he gives it the same look he used to give me when I'd say something dumb at home. All old dads have that.
Right.
Yeah, the look over the top of the reading glasses at you, where they don't have to say a word, they just give you that look.
What did he just say?
Oh, God, what are you doing now? But to all of you, we are glad to have had you here. Want to remind you, got some great programs coming up. After this airs on Tuesday night, we got some great stuff. We got Jen and Rick. We've got A Pod Divided. That's coming up on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Again, Alan Ray on Friday night, Hardcore Patriot. Check it out. Ramstein references equal fun. So we want you guys to jump in on that. Until then, my friends, for all of you, for all of our good friends at America's Podcast Network, KLRNradio.com. And, of course, the last stop on the right.com. I am Ben Crystal.
I am Mike Abel.
And until next week, my friends, y'all keep it in the short grass.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
We out.
Bye.